Okay, so today we're going to be doing the 4x4. Now, this one's pretty intimidating looking, especially for somebody who's new to cubing, but if you know how to do the 3x3, it's not too terribly difficult. There are some things that will happen with the 4x4 from time to time that won't happen with the 3x3, but I'm going to try to go over all those situations here today, and I'm going to be using a lot of the same algorithms that I use for my 3x3. So if you followed my steps for that, then you should have no problem really with the 4x4. It's just a matter of learning the new algorithms. So I've already got it mixed up here, and I guess we'll go ahead and get started. The very first thing that you want to do on the 4x4 is to solve the centers. So you want to get all the centers matched up. And just like on the 2x2, one of the things you have to know here is where all the colors are in relation to each other. Now, what I like to do first is start with the white side. And on my cube, it's got the little logo on one of the white centers. So I'm just going to start there. I like to do white and then yellow, and then I'll do blue, which I'll try to hold the blue in the front, and then on the left will be red, on the right will be orange, and then on the back, opposite blue, will be green. Alright, so I'll try to show you right quick how to solve the centers. So this is one of the easiest steps. Alright, so I'm going to start with the white. So I'm going to look and see if I can find another white piece. So I see one here. Now when I move it up, to begin with, I just move it up so that's next to that one. And the next thing I want to do is I want to get this white piece up here. So what you do is you just line it up directly under the ones that you already have solved. You move it up, move it to the side, and then just move the others back down. So once you get this L shape, we want to look for the last white piece, and here it is. And the only thing you have to remember here is you want to put the single white piece in the top left, and then you also want your L shape sort of pointing top left also. So we have that one in top left, L shape top left. So I'm just going to move it all the way up to the top. I'm going to move it to the side and then move the others back down. And that's basically it. We're just going to follow those same steps to do all the rest. So like I said, I'm going to do yellow next. Alright, so this side is going to have to be yellow because that's the one opposite white. I don't have any yellow there, but that's no problem. Just move this yellow one up and move it to the side and then fix it, because if I didn't fix it, I would have just messed up my white. So here you have to remember to anytime you move something, you have to move it back. So here I see these two yellows, and I want to move them up. So I want them to be directly under the yellow that is already done. I'm going to move them up and then move them out of the way, and then move the other one back down. And again, you can see that I haven't yet messed up my white. So now I have the L, so I have it. Okay, here's the other yellow, so let's move it to top left and then have the L shape sort of pointing top left. So move it up, move those out of the way, and then fix. And now we have the white and the yellow. Now you can do your blue side anywhere, but what I like to do is just look for the side that's already got the most blue on it. In this case, it'll be this side here because I already have these two done. So what I want to do is I'm going to start with this one, I guess. So I'm going to move it up, and again, because it was directly under those. So I'm going to move it up and then move it out of the way and then move the other ones back down. And so here we have the L shape. We have the other blue in the top left. So now I want my L shape in the top left. Move it up, move those out of the way, move it back down. Alright, so now we have white, blue, yellow. So now on the left of blue is going to be your red. So I'm going to have to try to make this side my red. So here's some red here, so let's just move it up, move it out of the way, and fix the cube. So now this is another interesting case here. What I'm going to do is move this one up here so that when I move it up, it's going to be next to the red that's already there. And again, this is just one method of doing it. This is how I like to do it, because when I move that up, now I can just slide those out of the way and then fix the cube. Alright, so here's my other two reds. Make sure, yeah, this is the side that needs to be red. So I'm just going to move these over so that they are directly under the reds that are already finished. I'm going to move them up, move them out of the way, and then fix the cube. Okay, so now I'm going to do the orange, which is going to go here opposite red. And okay, this will be pretty easy. I just need to get these two pairs where they're in a straight line again. Alright, move those up, slide them out of the way, and then fix the cube. Now once you finish the last side like that, or not the last side, but once I finish that side, then my green automatically completes as well. So you can see that I have yellow opposite white, I have green opposite blue, and I have red opposite orange, and that's the way it has to be. And again, don't forget that the red has to be on the left side of the blue, like I have here. So if you have all your centers solved and they are in the correct orientation, you're ready for the next step. Okay, so now the next step is to pair up these edge pieces. So like on the 3x3, we only have one centerpiece. So now we've completed our centers, and now instead of having one edge piece for each side, now we have two. So the next thing to do is to get those things paired up. And basically all we're doing is we're turning this 4x4 cube into a 3x3. Once you finish the centers and then finish the edges, you can follow the same steps and the same algorithms to complete it as you would with the 3x3, with a couple of exceptions, like I said, but I'll go over those in a few minutes. So I like to do the same routine every single time just because that's what kind of person I am. So I like to hold it with the blue side facing me, and whatever piece I have here in the top left, that's what piece I try to match up. And I'm going to try to keep the blue side facing me the whole time, and that just helps me not get mixed up, because I'm kind of bad about that. Sometimes I'll mix myself up. So I'm looking for the other orange and blue piece, and I can see it right here on the top. So what you want to do with this is you want to move it so that it's diagonal from its pair. Okay, now I'll show you what to do in just a minute. If they're straight across, we'll need to do just a little move to fix them, but since I am diagonal here, I'm good to go. So what you want to do is move it from right to left so that they're matched up, and then we're going to move them to the top layer, and then we're going to move them out of the way. It doesn't matter if you move it this way or that way. I'm going to move it to the front this time. And okay, no, I take that back. What I'm trying to do in this step is I'm trying to get a broken pair on the left, because I need to move a broken pair back down. Now, I didn't notice it, but I do already have a pair here that's already finished, so I don't want to move those down. So I'm actually going to move that pair to the back so that I do have a broken pair here on the left. And I'm going to need to move that pair back down, and then I'm going to need to fix this blue that I moved to begin with. Alright, so you can see my centers are all still good. Alright, so again, let me just try to help you get the concept down. What you're going to do is you're going to match up these two pieces. You're going to move them into the top layer, and you're going to rotate it any way that you need to so that you get a broken pair on the left. And then you want to move the broken pair down and then fix the bottom that you moved. Alright, so Alright, this time I'm going to look for the green and orange, and I see it back here in the back, so I'm going to swing it around like that. And again, I have them diagonal from each other, so that's good. I don't need to fix that. So again, your move is take it to the left, match them up. We want to take it to the top layer, and then we want to move a broken piece over in its spot, and then bring that broken piece back down, and then fix the centers. Alright, so let's keep going. So this time I'm going to look for the green and white. So here it is right here. So I'm going to swing it around. Again, they're diagonal from each other, so match them up, take them to the top layer, put a broken piece to the left, bring that broken piece down, and then fix the centers. Okay. Now, before I start the next one, you can see that the only broken piece I have is right here in this spot. So I'm going to need to move that broken piece out of the way, because once I match these up and move it, I don't want to mess up my piece that I'm going to need to move back down. Alright, so let's look for the white and red. Here it is on the bottom. So I'm going to move it over and then move it up. Again, they're diagonal from each other. That's kind of strange, but I'm sure I'll get one in a minute that I'll have to fix. But diagonal, so let's move it over, move it up, bring the broken pair over and back down, and then fix the centers. Alright, so now let's look for the blue and red. There it is over on the bottom. So let's move it around and move it up. Okay, here we go. So here's a situation where we have the pairs across from each other. So I don't really try to remember an algorithm for this. This is just kind of a common sense move, I guess you could say. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it to the top, and then move it that way, and then move the back like that, and then swing it back around. And all that did was that now got them diagonal. And I'll show that move again in just a minute. I'm sure I'll have another one. So okay, so let's match them up, take it to the top, bring a broken pair over, and then bring that broken pair down, and then fix the centers. Alright, so it just so happened that I already have a matched up set here, and all my ones on the top are also matched up. So let me try to put a broken pair on the top. Here's a broken pair, and again I'm going to try to keep the cube with the blue side facing me. That's just me, but let me move this broken pair up. Okay, now since this set is already completed, I'm going to move it up, bring this broken pair over, bring it back down, and I didn't even need to fix the centers because they were already fixed. Okay, so let's see. Now again, before I even start this next step, I see that there are no broken pairs in the top, so let me try to put a broken pair up there like that. Okay, so I need to find the green and yellow, and here it is in the front. So let me move that over and then bring it up. Okay, so here we go again. They are straight across from each other, so I'm going to need to fix that. So just move it up, and then back that way, and then swing it back over. So now they're diagonal, and that's what you want. Okay, so I have my broken pair on the left again, so let's get that out of the way so I don't lose that. And let's match these up. So match them up, take it to the top, bring the broken pair over, bring it back down, fix the centers. Okay. So I'm looking for red and green this time. Let's see, there it is back on the bottom. Alright, so let me move that over and bring it up. Okay, so they are straight across again, so I'm going to need to fix that. So let's move it back like that, and then back around. There we go. Let me get a broken pair on the top. I don't have any yet, but here's one, so let me just swing it up. So now I have a broken pair on the top. So now we're ready. Match them up, take it to the top, broken pair over, broken pair down, fix the centers. Okay. Now, at this point, one of two things is going to happen. Either you just finished all the edges, and that does happen about, I would say about half the time. You'll finish all the edges without even meaning to. The other situation is you'll have the two sets that are left, and they'll be like this, and you want to get them across from each other like I do. Now, the way that this step is different is instead of them being diagonal, this time you want them to be straight across. That's the only difference. Okay, so I do have them straight across. Now, if they are diagonal, you just do that same move that I've been showing you that takes it from straight to diagonal. It works the same way to go from diagonal to straight. So you can just use that same move to fix it if you need to. I don't in this particular case. And now you're going to need to know an algorithm for this situation. Now, the first step of the algorithm is to turn both of the bottom layers at once. Now, I call that big down. If you don't like that, I'm sorry. Don't leave me a comment saying you don't like that. I'm sure there's another name for it. But if I'm turning both layers at once, like I would say that's big right, big down, or whatever. So I'm just going to call it that. You can call it something different if you want. But anyway, the algorithm, is this. It's big down, right, front prime, up, right prime, front, and then big down prime. And you can see what that did was that lined all of them up. All the centers and all the edges are now complete, and we're ready to move to the next step. Okay, so from this step forward, I'm going to be moving just a little bit quicker because I'm assuming that if you're trying to do the 4x4, you've probably already learned the 3x3. And like I said, we now have the equivalent of a 3x3 cube right now. There will be a couple of situations possibly that we'll need to fix, but from this point forward, we're going to solve it just like a 3x3. So I'm going to move just a little bit quicker. If you need to pause and rewind, feel free to do so. But the first thing you want to do, of course, is the white cross. I can see that now I have the green. Here's my red, so let me move it around. And obviously, if you've already learned the 3x3, you know that there's a lot of different ways to do the white cross. It's just kind of learning trial and error, but it's pretty simple. Let's see, I messed up my green. What did I do with my green? Oh, there it is. Yeah, I apologize. I screwed up a little there, but oh well. Let's move that blue over, fix that orange. Screwed up big time. Okay, but that's okay. I got it. Okay, so I have completed my white cross. That's your first step. Now we want to complete the white corners, and we're going to use, again, there's several different methods to this. I'm just going to use this method here. I'm not going to put these 3x3 algorithms on the screen. I will put them in the description just for simplicity. Like I said, you've probably already learned the 3x3, so I'm not going to waste your time with that. But okay, so again, I am solving the white corners. There we go. All right, so first layer complete. Now I need to do either my left move or my right move. And so I'm just going to start with this one. I'm going to move it around until it matches up with its proper color. And this particular one needs to go to the right, so I'm going to use my right algorithm. Alright, I'm going to do this one next. So let's match the red up, and I want to move again to the right. So there's my right algorithm. Okay, let's do this one next. So I match up the orange, and this time we need to move to the left, and this is also good because it'll kick this pair out, because I'm going to need to move those out also. So alright, so let's go left algorithm. Alright, and I should have one more. This one also needs to go to the left, so let's do left algorithm again. Okay, so here we have the first 3 layers complete. So if you have that done, then you are ready for the next step. Okay, now this is the point where you're going to know if you're going to have a parity or not. If you recall, with the 3x3, there's only there's 4 situations you can have with the yellow cross. You can either have the lonely yellow center, you can have the hook, you can have the bar, which is what I have here, or it can be complete. Now on the 4x4 there's another option. The next option is the T. Now if you are trying to complete the yellow cross and you get a T, like this is yellow here and then this one's yellow, or that's yellow there and that's yellow but the other one's flipped, then you know you're going to have a parity. Now I'm not going to have a parity with this one, so I'm just going to show you, go ahead and show you the next step, but I will back up and show you what to do if you do get a parity, because you'll get a parity about 50% of the time. So if you recall, if you have the bar, then we're just going to do this algorithm once. And you can see that I do have the yellow cross, so I'm not going to have that particular parity this time. So once you complete the yellow cross, the next thing you want to do is get your edges in the proper spots. Now it looks like I'm going to need to do the edge algorithm twice, because this set is flipped and this set's also flipped. So just really quick, the 2 that you want to swap, you want to be in the front and the left, and then we're going to do our algorithm, and now you can see that the blue and red are swapped. So now let's do that same thing with the green and orange. And now we have our edges all matched up. Alright, now again, if you did get the yellow T instead of the yellow cross, go ahead and do this next step, because you want to wait until the last step. At least in my opinion, it's easiest to wait until the last step to fix the parity. So if you get the T, just pretend like the cross is finished. And like for instance, if this set here was flipped and you had the green here and the yellow here, still get it in the right spot where it's just upside down. And again, I'll show you that situation in just a minute. So alright, so we have all our edges complete and we're ready for the next step. So our next step is to position the yellow corners. Now we're not necessarily, we are not worried about orientation right now. That would be the step after this one. So we're just worried about getting them in the right spots. So let's take a quick peek. This one's in the right spot. Let's see if I have any others. Nope, just the one. Okay, so if you remember from the 3x3, there's only 3 situations you can run into with the 3x3. You can either have 1 in the right spot, which is what I have. You can have none in the right spot, or you can have all in the right spot. So if none of them are in the right spot, you're just going to do this algorithm. It doesn't matter how you hold the cube, and that will put you 1 in the right spot. Then once you have 1 in the right spot, you want to hold it to your front top right, like I have it here. All right, and now we're just going to do that algorithm again, and it's going to rotate these 3 counterclockwise. So this one's going to come up here, this one goes there, this one goes there. So I can look and see that if I just do this algorithm once, I'm going to have all of them in the right spot. That's not the case every time, but it is this time. Now, what's interesting with the 4x4 is that you can also run into another situation, and I'll show that in just a second. You can run into a situation where 2 are in the right spot and the other 2 are swapped. And if that happens, we have another algorithm to fix that. Now, I don't know if that's technically considered a parity. I don't consider it a parity. I just think it's another situation, but you know, I guess that's open to interpretation. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you the move to rotate these and fix this. Okay, so now you can see that one stayed where it was. This one's now in the right spot. So is this one. So is this one. Okay, so if you already know how to do the 3x3, then you already know all this. Now let me show you the situation where you have 2 in the right spot and 2 that are not. Okay, so a lot of times you'll see this. So if you notice here, these 2 are in the right spots. These 2 are not. They're flip-flopped. So this one needs to go here, this one needs to go here. So if this happens, then you've got a new algorithm to learn to fix this. And it's fairly simple. You can probably remember it with just a little bit of practice, but here it is. You turn this one twice, up 2, little R2 again, up 2 again, and then a little up 2, little R2, little up 2. Alright, now what that did, if you notice, it messed up our edges. Now what that does every time is it makes it so that you now have to do the edge algorithm twice and fix your edges again. So let me just do that really quick. Okay, so I fixed my blue and orange, and now let's fix the red and green. Okay, so now that we have done the algorithm and then fixed the edges, now we're able to solve it just like the 3x3. So let's figure out which one's in the right spot. This one is. Okay, so I can see I'm going to need to hold this one in the front top right, and I'm going to need to do the corner algorithm twice to get them in the right spot, because this one needs to go here, and then I'm going to need to do it one more time to move it over. So here we go. Okay, so there's once. Let's do it one more time. And there we go. Now if we take a peek, we'll see that they are all in the right spot. Alright, so hopefully that made sense. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments and I will try to address it. But fairly straightforward. Just like I said, that's another situation with the 4x4 that does not happen with the 3x3. But once you learn that algorithm, it's a fairly quick fix. So now we're ready to orient the yellow corners. Okay, so last step again is to orient the yellow corners. So luckily for me, I already have 2 of them oriented properly, so that'll just be that much less I have to do. But remember, if all of them need to be oriented, you just do the same algorithm as many times as you need to. But you're going to put the the first one that you want to orient in the front top right, and then you're going to do your move. as many times as you need to get it where it needs to go. And once more. Alright, and then bring the next one around that needs to go and be oriented and do that same move. Alright, and then you just fix the top layer or whatever. Sometimes you have to do the bottom or top or whatever. And there you go. So you have now completed the 4x4. So if you ran into a parity, so if one of these edge pairs are flipped, then you should have everything complete except that one edge pair. So I'll show you how to fix that right now. Okay, so here it is. This is the only parity that's possible with my method, and it happens about 50% of the time, like I said. But that's a good thing for this method, only one parity. I've seen other methods that have up to 3. And so the parities are by far the hardest algorithms to remember. This particular one is fairly long, and the way I remembered it was I just had to keep doing it over and over until it became muscle memory. So that's my suggestion, and what you want to do is hold it with the flipped edges facing you, and then you're going to do little right prime, up twice, little left, and front twice, then little left prime, and then front twice, little right twice, up twice, little right, up twice, little right prime, up twice, and then front twice, little right twice, and then front twice. Okay. So again, I know that's a long algorithm, but you'll get it with practice. At least I did. So if I can do it, you can do it. And that's it. I think I've covered all the different situations you can have with the 4x4. So hope this helps. It's an intimidating cube, but after you solve it a few times, you see it's not too bad. So anyway, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.